Jeff here again, and I'm going to talk a little bit about music today, right at this moment. And one of the most underappreciated bands of the 20th century. That band was a rock band known as the Monkees, which comprised of Peter Tork, Mike Nesmith, Mickey Dolenz, and Davy Jones. And this band was probably one of the most underrated bands because they were put down by people who were basically Beatles fans. They were the main ones. Even the Beatles liked them, and they were put down by fans of the Beatles. And there was a lot of myths about them. First off, it was a myth. One of the myths is that they never played their own instruments. The fact was they could play their own instruments. It's just that they weren't allowed to by the producers of their TV show. People thought that they were just a band for a TV show, and we're just going to have them have other background musicians play for them. But Mike Nesmith and Mickey Dolenz and Peter Tork and Davy Jones were all accomplished instrumentalists in the instruments they played. This was they've even, Marge Simpson was wrong. They could play their instruments. And it's one of the most ridiculous things on the planet that they allowed this to unfold, that they couldn't play their own instruments. And when they refer to them as the Prefab Four, they were one of the best bands in the world. I mean, then again, I'm prejudiced about this because I like them better. I like them instead of the Beatles. And you know, I'm gonna miss Davy Jones probably because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he was their drummer, and he was they all took turns being vocalist on there. Nesmith Nesmith also was also an accomplished songwriter before he got into the. He wrote a song for a group called the Stone Ponies called Different Drum. Guess who? You'll never guess who was the lead singer of the Stone Ponies. It was a girl band of the 1960s. She later on came into her own. Her name is Linda Ronstadt. Remember her? So you can basically say that the Monkees were one of the bands that is totally unappreciated in the 20th century, and but today you get people that get underrated, and it's for the very same reasons. Music is it's kind of sad the way the music industry has become because of, and I believe a lot of it is because of the influx of bands in the 20th century, particularly the mid to late 60s. Of course, like I say, I'm prejudiced about this a little. So, being a guy who grew up in the 1980s and had listened to people like Cyndi Lauper and Madonna and Don Henley and some of the Tina Turner, some of the and a number of other artists. I was not of the flower power generation. I'm of the baby buster generation. We're sometimes called Generation X. But I mean, there's the time period of my birth from 1965 to 1980 is what a lot of those people are referred to. Well, just wanted to give you my opinion on music a little bit and tell you what I thought. Okay, see ya.